A federal judge has indicated that they may be putting an end to Trump's, by the way, the cost is up to $400 million now. $400 million ballroom. By the way, how the hell does a ballroom cost that much? Like, how? It's crazy just how inefficient. I mean, it's probably like a giant money laundering scheme, but it's crazy how inefficient it is when we want to build shit. Like, think of a $500,000 home. I mean, probably not too big nowadays in this economy, but okay, think about a $500,000 home. Think about a $1 million home. Okay. Now I want you to think about a $10 million house. We're pretty much at mansion territory here. Now I want you to imagine a $20 million house. How the hell are we almost hitting $500 million for a fucking ballroom? Okay. Anyways, so a court might be putting a stop to this. We're going to get into the full story here in a moment, but this is just another example on why relying on the courts can't be the only way of resistance against the Trump administration, because he already demolished the East Wing last year. The damage is already done. They've already started. Like, Trump knows that he can go gung-ho with any illegal action, get what he wants, and by the time there is a court decision, before they even make a ruling, he's already been able to see through what he's wanted to do. See the immigration crackdown and how, like, you'll have a surge in a city, the surge will go on, you'll have U.S. citizens being killed, thousands of people black bagged, just absolute terror on the streets. And then by the time they're already on their way out, a judge is like, hey, you can't actually do that. It was the same with the deployment of the Marines in LA. It's crazy. I completely forgot about that. It's just insane how many like scandals and how they flood the news cycle with so much like bad, terrible things that some things I just forget. And it was just a year ago. But yeah, like the deployment of Marines in LA. The Marines were deployed there for some time. And then by the time they were already withdrawing, a like federal judge was like, hey, you can't do that. They need to leave. It's like, well, the damage is already done. So there needs, like, Congress needs to actually step up and get a freaking backbone. But without further ado, I want to get into this full story from The Guardian. Judge indicates he might shut down Trump's $400 million White House ballroom plan. A federal judge has slammed Donald Trump's demolition of the White House. White House's East Wing and plan to build a $400 million ballroom where it once stood as brazen, and has indicated he might terminate the project later this month. I'm struggling to see this as an alteration, Judge Richard Leon said on Tuesday during a hearing in a lawsuit brought by the National Trust for Historic Preservation, seeking to halt construction until the president has won congressional approval and passed independent reviews. White House lawyers have urged that Trump does not need outside permission to pursue the project, which began with demolition of the East Wing in October, and which he aims to complete by 2028. It's crazy because it's like all of this stuff that he is so excited about getting, like this ballroom and the Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One, it's all going to be done by the time he's like out of office. It almost makes you think like, he's not planning on being out of office unless that motherfucker's 6 feet underground. Let's be real. Anyways, he has frequently boasted about the project, which critics have said it is a thinly veiled attempt to recreate the opulence of Mar-a-Lago, his gilded Florida mansion in the Capitol. His lawyers have advanced a number of arguments in defense of the 90,000 square foot ballroom, including that it was needed for national security, that Congress had already allocated millions of dollars for its alteration and maintenance of the president's residence, and that it was exempt from congressional scrutiny because it was mostly funded by private donors. Okay, so can Bill Gates just come and, I don't know, build a little fucking tiny house on the White House lawn because he's paying for it? Like, what kind of logic is this? What the hell? In October, Trump fired all 6 members of the independent U.S. Commission of Fine Arts responsible for reviewing the ballroom plan and replaced them with handpicked designees who gave their unanimous consent last month. The Capitol Planning Commission, a separate federal body reviewing the project, said earlier this month it was postponing its vote of approval to April, citing a need to assess a large amount of public input. At Tuesday's hearing in Washington, D.C., Theodis Herer Attorney for the NTHP accused the Trump administration of a months-long merry-go-round ride over responsibility for and authority over the project, delaying the legal process until it was too late to stop it. What they can't do here is have it both ways, he said, reported by The Hill. Hearer said the administration had forgotten the proverbial first law of holes. When you find yourself in one, stop digging. Like, you see, that doesn't really apply to the Trump administration because they'll just dig until they're the whole way through the earth and back out on top. Like, I hate to say it, but when there's no resistance to this kind of just fascist takeover, what are you going to do? The government's machinations found little favor with Leon, a George Bush appointee who is set to rule on the preservationist lawsuit by the end of March. This has been a case where there have been shifting theories, shifting dynamics. I regret to say from the beginning, he said, adding there was no track record of the administration authentically following traditional approval processes. To Justice Department lawyer Yakov Roth, assertion that the Ballroom project had a dual source of funding and dual source of authority and was therefore outside the court's purview, Leon said it was a brazen interpretation of the law's vocabulary. Calling the White House a special place, he added, this is an iconic symbol of the nation. Trump, he said, was not the owner, but a steward on behalf of the nation. Damn. That's a deep, but also true. Leon has previously ruled against the NTHP, which contends that the demolition was illegal and that the Trump lacks the legal authority to impose his private whims on the historic building. The judge denied his first request for injunction last month on procedural grounds, permitting building work to continue, but allowed it to file an amended complaint that he is weighing now. The NTHP should not even be afforded another try, Justice Department attorneys wrote in a court filing last week, urging Leon to dismiss the case. Trump posted falsely on social media last month that the judge had completely erased the effort to halt the ballroom's construction. On Tuesday, Leon appeared skeptical of the Trump administration's argument that previous presidents had made unilateral alterations to the White House, including Gerald Ford's installation of an outdoor swimming pool in 1975. I'd say a swimming pool is a lot different than demolishing the East Wing and building a ballroom. That is bigger than the White House itself. Leon said in his February order that he expects his decision to be challenged whichever way he ruled, and that he saw the case squarely in Supreme Court territory. Oh boy, that'll be fun. So yeah, that is where we are at with the Ballroom. And something I want you to take home from this, something I want to make clear, is that Trump may claim that this is being funded by him and other billionaires, which, if it is true, is already just kind of insane. And it really shows you how deeply corrupt and straight up like bought by the top 1% our government is. And they're the ones that have all the power and are the ones dividing all of us. So we fight these dumbass fucking wars amongst each other when we are all sharing the same struggles. But the whole, oh, it's billionaires paying for it. Okay. But that's not true. That is not true. Even if they did pay for the initial construction cost, who do you think is going to pay for the maintenance? Do you think the billionaires are going to continue to pay for the maintenance? Who's going to pay for the extra staffing? Who's going to pay for the extra security? Who's going to pay for plumbing and the utility bill? Who is going to be paying for this? It's not going to be the billionaires. It's not going to be the billionaires. It's going to be you, the taxpayer. The taxpayer. You can't, you really expect that once this is up, all the billionaires are going to be like, yeah, we're, and there's no like writing or agreements or anything like legally binding them to this. So they're not just going to pay to maintain it for the rest of time. Are you crazy? Jesus, man. It's so transparent. It's so dumb. And people still they just still don't get it. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the
If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.